Everyone, it's Charlton. There was a shooter, and still may even be an active shooter. We don't know yet in Annapolis, Maryland. Let me show you quick before I lose it. This is live coverage from Fox.
Because people are at such a nerve's edge that they want to make sure that
suspect apprehended. Multiple fatalities in a newsroom shooting. This is at the Capital Gazette or the Maryland Gazette.
User from about 35 minutes ago was first to report this. So just about 10 minutes before 3 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time is our belief of when the first reports of this came out, with just an address, the address of this place, 888 Bestgate, saying active shooter, 888 Bestgate, please help us. Other information that we've gotten, this is from the Annapolis Police Department, a verified account there, just confirming that this had happened. And the man who tweeted to us, please help us, is an intern at the newspaper, presumably for part of the summer internship program. We have 150 or so interns here at Fox News Channel, just as newspapers do across the country. And they're in to learn the beginning of providing people information. And on this day, that intern apparently caught up in the middle of an active shooter situation. We have a number of affiliated stations in Washington. Our flagship there is Fox 5 WTTG for the Washington, D.C. area in Maryland and Virginia. We're working to get their off-air signal, and we'll bring you their coverage in just a moment. We're also affiliated with our network news service stations. And one of those
it does say multiple fatalities, and that the suspect is now apprehended. Initially, when I first started watching this just 5 or 10 minutes ago, it was, they were still looking for a suspect. But yeah, so little information right now. They're still clearing the building. They're probably still going room to room, even if they've apprehended a suspect. But it does say multiple fatalities, So I'm expecting this is going to be probably another bad one. It's a newsroom in Annapolis, Maryland. That's got to be close to Washington, D.C. That's where one of the military academies is in Annapolis, isn't it? Is West Point there? I'm not sure. So, large police presence in Annapolis, Maryland for shooting. They're still bringing people out with their hands in the air, and looks like in pairs, possibly. Those are police officers going in, there and there in large packs, it looks like. And
that a shotgun was involved. That is not to say that there might have been something else as well. We don't know. But JLA is reporting, WJLA TV, ABC7 in D.C. is reporting that a shotgun was involved. They don't say used, so we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. There is video of the police arriving, and we're waiting for our connection to WTTG's off-air signal so that we can get access to their reporters, and we'll have that in just a second. But first, I'm told Trace Gallagher has an update. Trace?
Just a quick lay of the land there, Shep, kind of an update. This is about 3 or 4 miles, the newspaper headquarters from the U.S. Naval Academy. We should know that it's about 3 or 4 miles from the Capitol building, and it runs right along U.S. 50, which is a major east-west artery there. And as you watch what's going on the ground, keep in mind we mentioned that the Capitol is owned by the Baltimore Sun. Well, now the Baltimore Sun is taking precautions in Baltimore. They are now clearing their newsroom and making sure they do, maybe clearing is too strong, but they are doing a sweep of the Baltimore Sun to make sure
the Capital Gazette is the name of the paper. It's owned by the Baltimore Sun. Sorry for speaking over them.
So in Baltimore, they are now doing their own police procedure going through the Baltimore Sun to make sure that there is no threat there as well. We do not know the genesis of why they're doing this, except for the fact that the Baltimore Sun owns the Capitol. We don't know why they're actually going through, if there was some type of threat, but we do know that they're now doing a sweep of the Baltimore Sun. We would anticipate that other papers that are owned by the Sun and are in this group might also have some police procedures going on today. But again, it's very difficult to tell what kind of precipitated the reasoning for going through the Baltimore Sun, if there was a threat or if this is simply a precautionary. But it's an interesting factoid that is happening simultaneously while police are still trying to figure out who this suspect, which we have now been told is in custody, who he is or she is, or what the background, the motive, and everything else that goes along with these types of active shooter situations. Shep.
Trace, thanks. The Associated Press is now sending out urgent messages to its clients across the country and around the world that this shooting has happened. Associated Press is reporting multiple people are confirmed shot. It was the sheriff of Anne Arundel County, Ron Bateman, who live on Fox News Channel told us just a few moments ago. The sheriff himself told us that there are multiple fatalities inside the building.
Wow.
We just don't have the context that we would like to have at this moment to pass along to you. We don't know if this was an employee dispute of some kind, a workplace dispute. We don't know if it was a domestic dispute that's found its way into this business. We don't know. We just don't have any of the.
And that's this is the Baltimore Sun right there, and they don't have. They say multiple people had been shot. Police did not immediately respond to requests for comments. But you just heard Shep saying the sheriff from that area announced multiple fatalities inside the building. You know, and God only knows what that number is, multiple. But I don't know, man. This doesn't sound good.
Multiple people have been shot at the Capital newspaper in Annapolis. The Baltimore Sun, which owns the Annapolis newspaper, says a reporter told them of the shooting this afternoon. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, or ATF, says it is responding to these reports, and we believe some are on scene now. Mark Lemansky is a spokesman for the Anne Arundel County Police Department. He says officers have been searching this building where the shooting happened. He now tells Associated Press, and I'm quoting, "The situation is active and ongoing." Lemansky says he has no details about potential victims and couldn't even confirm the exact location of the building. That's the Associated Press report. Of course, it's Sheriff Bateman himself who tells us that there are multiple fatalities on scene. And there are indications now, though they use the word active, the reports that we're getting is that the authorities are not treating this at the moment as an active shooter situation. The reports that we're getting from them is it was an active shooter situation, that they took the suspect into custody. They've given us no reason to believe there is another suspect out there, and it would appear that what they're doing is going room to room, area to area, evacuating people who have not been physically affected by this and trying to get those who may have been physically affected in one way or another the kind of care that they need. And, of course, investigators trying to piece together what happened and whether whoever is responsible had an accomplice in any way, whether that person is responsible had left any information behind on social media, on Facebook accounts, or has any explanation for what it is that's happened here. Largely in the early going, you do that to make sure that there's not another assailant in any place, that this isn't something coordinated. And I must say we have no reason to believe that it is. We also have no reason to believe that this newspaper was a target in any way. The truth is we just don't yet know the context. We believe the first calls came in about almost exactly 40 minutes ago now. The original call was an active shooter situation, and at about the same time, this tweet came out from a young man who was an intern there at the newspaper, and that young man saying, "There's a shooter in here, please come and help us." And by the time that tweet was out, it's our understanding that law enforcement was already screaming to that location, and now we see the familiar scene of people single file coming out of a place of business. Sometimes it's a school, sometimes it's a place of business, but the telltale sign that there has been yet another gun violence incident in yet another spot in America. We're waiting for the authorities to come tell us anything that they can. They've not sent out anything official in the last few minutes. I do have something new that's just come in here on our internal computers, and this is coming to us from the police department. Here we go. from the police, multiple fatalities. Again, Mark Heiner. The police have just sent out this information. The police have just confirmed there may be more shooters and there may be bombs.
Wow.
Now, for context, it's not as if the police are saying we have reason to believe there may be more shooters. We have reason to believe that there may be bombs. They do not. They're being very careful to say this is part of routine operation after an event like this. So what they're saying is we can't tell you definitively what's happening here, but we can tell you what we're checking on. They're like, we have a suspect. We're checking to see if there may be more of them. So we're acting as if there are, to err on the side of caution. In addition, in scenes like this, in other areas in the country at other times, there have been occasions when suspects left explosives behind. Because it's happened before, they're checking for it here. So that's the reason for a little bit of confusion in the active shooter situation. The truth is the authorities believe that they have the one and only suspect, but
crazy,
they're now
man.
checking to make
Absolutely
sure.
Crazy. But
and the reason for the parlance here is the splitting up
still,
hairs
them putting out that information right now, that doesn't sound so precautionary, but I have no idea. My wife was just texting me because she helps me on my channel. She was just texting me, did you see shots fired in the newspaper? And, I did. I'm going to end this video now and see what else I can find. Making video now. And see, if they, I suspect it's going to be a little bit before they release the identity of the person, but them saying that there may be multiple shooters, that there still may be shooters out there with possible bombs in the building. That sounds pretty serious, man. My wife still texts me, breaking news now. Thanks, hon. All right. Honey, not Heine. All right, man. I'm going to end this video, upload it, and see what else I can find. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. You know what? When he was saying, he was saying about there's video of police arriving. I don't know if this is what he was talking about or what. I'm going to see what else I can find about the identity of the gunman, if there's still actually multiple other gunmen out there, bombs in the building, fatalities, number of fatalities, injuries, etc., and motive. Why? Once again, why? Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.